What up? How's it going? Welcome back. Large Data Bank. We back. I was on vacation. I did a stream on Sunday, but it was Mario, it wasn't programming. We're back to programming. It's gonna be super fun. It's a pretty hot day here, so I've got the old AC on, but not to worry. I don't know. Why did I say that? Really hard to say. Really hard to say. I just met my mom for lunch. That was super fun. You guys ever meet your mom for lunch? I'm very lucky to say that my mom lives right here in New York City. So I can go visit her and have lunch. Socially distanced with masks and Thai food. I thought it was pretty nice. I recommend having lunch with your mom from time to time if you can manage to do it. She likes to give me advice, you know? She's like, when was the last time you went to the doctor? She's like, do you need to go to the dentist? She's like, what's this? What's that? You know, it's very nice. It's pleasant. It's doting. You know, it's like, you want that a little bit and then not too much. You know how it is with parents. But it was very nice. Very, very nice. I think she hadn't had food out since the beginning of COVID, which I find pretty crazy. I think, well, maybe not that crazy because, you know, she's 70 something. But just imagining not going out to eat for 6 months is, you know, it's a lot of time. So, but anyway, yeah, we got some food. It was really nice. And now we're back. We're going to do programming and it's going to be super fun. Hi, Mom. Typical mom questions. Root Guy, what's up? Arjun. Does she have questions about whether your job is real the way my mom does? She never asked about my job. Just got a simulated phishing email. I assume you're talking about the kind where they ask you what kind of fish you got. Cod, scrod? Who knows the difference between cod and scrod? I went to Cape Cod last week, and there I thought that I would get a fish education, and I'm sad to say that I didn't get any fish education whatsoever. Cod, scrod, it all looks the same to me. It all probably tastes the same to me too. So I'm assuming you're talking about that kind of fish, right, Root Guy? Yeah. So, moms. We had some good conversations, you know? So she's been like, my parents kind of run this market. That's kind of what they do with their time. Even though they're, you know, above retirement age, they've got a passion. They do some work. They run a food market. Like a farmer's market kind of thing where you can go and get your food. And that's great. They've spent a lot of time in it. My mom's taken a break recently because, you know, she's 70 something, you know, it's kind of time to take a break if you can help it. They also employ a bunch of my friends, which is kind of funny. Like some friends from around here or from some people who don't have jobs right now. They're working at the market for my parents. Isn't that funny? It's like small town, except I live in New York City. So how about that? But anyway, yeah, so she's like not doing that work. She's at home a bunch and she's trying to like, you know what it's like also with the parents and the stuff. Who's got a stuff problem with their parents? Like a things problem. Like I don't want to say the H word. You know the H word, hoarding? I don't want to say the H word because I don't know if it's really technically up there. But it's close. And I think that that's a really stressful thing in her life. So we talk about that. I've learned, you know, years ago, I said, don't try to put yourself in the head of the person who needs to fix that problem for your parents, right? That's an unhealthy place to be. You don't want to try to fix your parents' problems if you can help it, because you're going to get stressed. And I got very stressed about that quite a lot. But I think they're back in it. They're back with the stress. They're back with the stuff. And it's tough, you know? It's a really tough situation for them. 3 bedrooms full of baby clothes and toys in case my kids ever need it. That's the kind of thing, man. That's absolutely the kind of thing. I think for them, in my personal situation, it's kind of more about the thing where you like have your own stuff. You know, you're a scholar, right? You're a scholar and you've been working on your sort of job that you work on for the past career length of time, right? 40 plus years. And you've got all these books, all these papers, all these documents, all these things that you've worked on. And what do you do with that stuff? And in my dad's case, the answer is that you keep it in the house. And I think that's what's really overwhelming. And not only that, you also keep your own dad's stuff. So my dad's dad, right? He was a scholar in a sense. He was a kind of scholar in a way, and he had a lot of books. And what do you do with the books is you keep them. You keep them in the house. So that's that, man. No, Danny, don't worry about it. I'm just blabbing. I'm just blabbing about. I'm trying to hone my podcast skills at the beginning of my stream. That's sort of my the thing that I've been doing for the past few streams. Just talk randomly about my life as a form of therapy, perhaps. You guys listen to Mark Maron? I love the way Mark Maron monologues at the beginning of his thing. I wish, Mark, he's a great monologuer. I'm not that level, but it's inspiring. So, anyway, I'm trying to get into Go. What is a good starting project for learning the standard library? Danny, let me ask you a question. Do you have something that you want to build? Or are you sort of like, do you know how to program in other languages? Are you a new programmer? Are you a new Go programmer? Do you have projects that you want to work on? Do you want to contribute to open source? There's a lot of questions. My personal advice that I always give to people who are trying to learn programming in general, and this may or may not apply to you, is that you have to pick something that you have to pick a project. That's exactly right. Arjun has got it. And perhaps you also sort of have it, right? You want to know what is that starting project. And I think the trouble is that you've got to follow your interests. At least for me, it's like if I just pick something random that somebody tells me, like, that's not really going to work, I'm not going to care. You have to pick something that you want to do. Do you want to build a game? Do you want to build a microservice? Do you want to build a database? Do you want to build a network stack? Like what is it that you are fascinated by in the world of computers? Go is I would say it's a pretty flexible language, and you can do most things in Go. So I think you kind of got to follow your heart, in a sense.
Computers hooked into over 1,000 data banks throughout the world.
You're a programmer, you're just not familiar with Go, and you don't know what to do with Go. Is cloning too many GitHub repos hoarding? I think, yeah. See, the problem is it's always this useful for you, right? I agree with MD Layer that you've got to figure out what's useful for you and try to make that thing. That's such a terrible answer. I mean, the other thing that you can do is you can go onto the world of GitHub and search for issues that people have in their project that you like, right? That's another thing. Like, do you use CockroachDB? Do you use Materialize? Do you use Go Crazy? Do you use, all of these things that some of the people in the chat are working on? Are any of these things that you use, you could try to contribute to them, fix some bugs. There's some good stuff, if you go to GitHub and you search for good first issue, there's a whole thing. Let me show you, actually. Why not? We've got a whole screen here and we're not even using it. github.com. I bet there's a way to say, GitHub, give me all of the good first issues in Go, right? What's gonna happen? So I'll say is open, label, good first issue. Can I say language Go? Probably not, right? Does that work? Did this work? I think that, I can't tell if this is just being interpreted as a string. It probably is. But it's funny because I happen to see that some of these things are written in Go. I don't know, dude. Blah, 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 blah. You want to use the AWS SDK. How about this, Denny? What do you want to use the AWS SDK for? Can you build that thing in Go right now? Could you go for it? Could you just YOLO it? Right? BitTorrent. Yo, Poo-Poo the Gorilla, by the way. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If that's the name of your gorilla, then I'm happy for you. So, okay, wait. I've got one more story. One more story before you dive in. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen in the stream announcement, there's a little teaser in there. I was like, I might have a special guest, a tiny special guest. And what does that mean? That means my friends and family that I am fostering a dog. Mostly my girlfriend is doing this. I'm like into it. I'm excited by it. The dog is very cute. It's very shy. So far it hasn't come out of the carrier. But let me tell you something crazy is that there's a whole network of dog fosters that take dogs from LA and ship them via an underground railroad of flight attendants throughout the country. moving these foster dogs from LA to New York, because I guess there's a surplus of foster dogs in LA and not many in New York. So how do you get them? Is you ship them one at a time via the Underground Railroad of flight attendants. How crazy is that? So Becca drove to the airport this morning and picked up a freaking dog. How crazy is that? Absolutely insanity. Your rescue dog is from LA too. That's just nuts, man. That's just, it feels so wrong in a way. Like, it's so the opposite of local. LA is so far away from New York. Are there no other places where you can get dogs, foster homes, closer to LA so you don't have to fly them through the air? It's unclear. It's unclear. You start to learn Rust. Most things that you want to use, yeah, I mean, Denny, I don't know, the landscape is changing. There's a lot of projects out there that use Rust. Arjun, I don't know if Arjun is outable, but there's a project out there in the world that there's open source projects in Rust that you can check out. Materialize is a kind of database-ish thing that is not much like Cockroach, but it's pretty cool and it's written in Rust. There's a lot of cool projects in Rust, and I bet it'll keep getting used in the world. So Arjun is outable. Arjun is the co-founder of Materialize, which is a cool thing that you should check out. Materialize.io. Pretty cool thing. Incrementally updated materialized views written in Rust, open source on GitHub. It's very neat stuff. A pretty good overlap of people who work at Cockroach and people who work at Materialize, or, you know, X's. We're like, you know, whatever you want to call it. We're friends. Cool company, cool project. It's written in Rust. SQL in Rust, you know. So, yeah. All right, so what do I want to do today? What do I want to do today? Yo, thanks Arjun for the shout out. That's did I buy your Prime subscription with that little advertisement there?
And right to dip.
I appreciate that. Prime Citizen. We're Prime Citizens together, you know? We'll be hanging out with Jeff one day. He'll be feeding us and we'll be still paying him money via Twitch, right? I've started to spend a lot of money on Twitch because I started to understand how good it feels to get subscriptions, and the people that I like to watch on Twitch, they also feel good when you subscribe to them. So I'm like just funneling some pocket change to Jeff, you know? So anyway, you have a Twitch budget. Okay, so check this out, you guys. Here, the thing that I was hacking on recently, it's kind of cool. So there's a lot of, speaking of open source, right? Denny, speaking of open source, Denny, there's a lot of people who contribute to CockroachDB who don't work for CockroachDB, which I think is pretty cool. And I wanted to make sure that it was possible for us to recognize those people and, you know, tell them that we care. And I was curious, like, can we figure out how, like, who are all the people who have contributed to Cockroach who don't work at Cockroach in the last year? So there's this script that somebody else wrote, but I modified. It's this like kind of insane Python script that, like, you know, downloads all the PRs and parses the Git stuff. And it's like, oh my God, the complexity of this thing that you have to do just to get basic statistics on this is like absolutely insane. I learned something. Do you guys know about the mail map format? You guys know about mail map? So in Git, there's this format that allows you to create canonical names for people and canonical email addresses so that you can know, even if there's one person who commits under 2 different names or 2 different email addresses or perhaps n different email addresses, there's a way to associate them all together, right? So that's what mail map is about. And we have this big authors file in the Cockroach repo that's designed to mimic that format. But there's a big problem, which is that the mail map format is totally brain dead. And it doesn't let you do, so let's take, you know, this guy, for example, Andy Kimball. Andy Kimball on this line claims to have 1 name, 1 email address, 2 email address, 3 email address, 2 name, 4 email address. But the mail map format, no, it doesn't work like that. What you have to do is you have to make each line have exactly either 2, 3, or 4 entries, and they all mean slightly different things. This is a valid entry, this one right here. This one means This one means that if you see somebody committing with this email address, associate it with this person, okay? This one means if you see somebody with this email address, this is their canonical name. And this one means if you see the person whose name is FJ, who also commits with this email address, then associate it with this, right? So it's like there's a few forms, and any form that is not like this doesn't work. How broken is that? Super broken. I could 100% be making this up from random Git documentation generator, you believe me? Yeah, totally. Did I tell him that he can just do git blame in every file in master? Danny, I don't think I quite follow. I think we might be on a different page. I'm trying to say, who are all the people who don't work at Cockroach who have contributed in the last 365 days? I don't think that would really work because we got a lot of files. Doesn't GitHub expose contributors with their GraphQL API? OX29A, I think you might be kind of right about that, but if you've ever tried to use the GitHub API, you might find that, well, it gives you some things and it doesn't give you all of the things. I think it might give you all the contributors, but how could you, it's all about this canonicalization, right? It's like, if I committed one time under my name, and then I also committed via the like GitHub no reply thing, which sometimes people do, then it's not gonna merge them. You know, it's just like, it's garbage. It's kind of garbage, but it's also a hard problem, right? Like canonicalizing names, I think is actually quite hard. Replace it with the database. Replace it with a database. Yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, it's been kind of cool, but anyway, so we wrote this big script, right? This big script, look how complicated it has to be. So complicated. I think this script does a lot more. It also figures out like release notes. It helps you document stuff, but in any case, I can now run it. And so let's do over the last 30 days. There's some like things that I could probably do to improve it. But if I said git log -- since minus 30 days, and then I go to the bottom. So this was the commit that was 30 days ago. And then I passed this SHA. I mean, I'd really like, it would be better if this script could take in, instead of just only a SHA, it could also just take in any git like rev specifier or whatever. But if I say this and I say hide CRDB folk, then it's gonna crunch the numbers and tell me all the PRs and commits and everything that were committed by non-CRDB people. I think it's pretty cool. I kind of want to make like an automated email about this, send it out, spread the love, you know? So that's something that I was just, I don't know, why am I talking about this? It's just the last thing I was doing, kind of. Look, you guys, let me tell you a hard truth. Coming back from vacation, it's a little bit difficult for me. I go on a vacation, feels great. Come back from vacation, it takes a little while before I can really be completely in it. I think that first week back from vacation, it's just not the most productive week that you're ever gonna have. And I think that this week for me, it was kind of felt like that, you know? I wasn't really in the game as much as I would like. So, you know, I tried to tie up some loose ends, do this, do that, but I didn't really feel like I didn't have the fire burning for work this week. That's been you, MD Layer, but it's been a month? Shoot, that's a lot. A month is a lot of time. When it's a month of that, then you have to start thinking, are you feeling burnt out? A month to me feels like, oof, is that burnout happening? Is that burnout happening? So here's the last month. It's not that many people, but it's a few. Eric Griniker, if you're there, he's been contributing quite a bit of geospatial stuff, which is pretty neat. Eugene Callanan, I'm not familiar with him, but he made a bunch of stuff. Show enums. Oh yeah, this thing. So show tables now shows you the row count. That's super cool, really useful. Himanshu Chawla, add a notice. More geo stuff. More geo stuff. A lot of geo stuff. So look, you guys, if you're interested in contributing, I'm sounding like a shill. I promise I'm not really meaning to be a shill. But just since we were talking about open source contribution stuff, we're trying to implement PostGIS on top of Cockroach. PostGIS is this really fully fledged like geospatial database library. And there's a lot of like, we did sort of like this indexing stuff, which is pretty tricky, but there's also a lot of like these little built-in functions like, you know, what is this? ST is empty. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means like for a geometry shape, is it empty? I don't know. But there's a lot of these things to do, and I think they're actually really good places to get your feet wet with a couple of things, right? Cockroach DB development, open source development, Go development, and geospatial stuff. I mean, that's kind of a lot. So I think if I go label good first issue. What? Okay, that didn't work. Good first issue? Oh yeah, there's spaces, right? That always gets me. I think I screwed up that search before. But in any case, if I search, where is this guy? We've got this epic mega issue. Geospatial built-in meta issue. And if you go to each of these, then there are these little functions to write, right? What does this mean? I don't know. As KML, as GML, st dump rings, st Voronoi polygons, you guys? That sounds cool. That sounds super cool. You've been learning Go? Dude, you wanna implement some Voronoi polygons? Check out this issue. Maybe you can do it. Maybe you could do it. That sounds really cool. Voronoi, those are those things where it's like you have a bunch of points and you try to make these shapes that are maximally containing the points or something. I don't know. Tell us about your vacation, what you did. Okay, so I went to Cape Cod. I talked a little bit about this on Sunday, but I'm not sure. Most people probably weren't around. Went to Cape Cod. Cape Cod? Pfft, what a place. What a place. It is a great place. Look. We're gonna have to go into selfie mode for this. In Cape Cod, if you are on the bay side of the Cape and it's low tide, and critically, you have a permit, you can go to the beach and pick up oysters and then eat them. So you could go out low tide, right? It's like 50 feet of beach is exposed at low tide because of I don't know, the tide there is crazy. I don't know why. So you can go walking way out, and just on the sand, there's just sitting there oysters, man. It's like, there's just tons of them. Anywhere you walk, anywhere you put your feet, you're gonna find oysters. And it's like the bounty of this, it just feels like like a Greek myth or something. It's like you're just floating in cod or floating in oysters. And you can go down, I learned to shuck them. You take them back up to the house, you put your knife inside, you twist them open, and then you put a little lemon on and eat them. And it's, oh my God, they're good. So that was super fun, dude. That was super fun. And you have the permit. Yeah. I don't know. I was lucky, right? I went with somebody who rents a house there. So they had a permit. I don't know how that works. I just didn't want to be on camera seen as permitting illegal oyster scooping, right? That would be probably not a good thing to do. I think conservation is important. If you had a bunch of people, I think there's a good regulation, man. Sometimes regulation is important. I think in this case, it's probably a pretty good idea to regulate the people who can pick up oysters from the bay so that you don't run out of oysters. It's probably more of a big deal for commercial fishermen, right? It's like individuals, probably it's not going to be that big of a deal if you go and take a few oysters from time to time, but it's about those commercial fishermen. Anyway, dude. I also went whale watching. That was pretty sick. It's a conspiracy by Big Oyster. It might be, honestly. I mean, I think Big Oyster, they have farms, right? It's like a little bit different, but yeah, probably right. It's probably a conspiracy, total conspiracy. Right, so I wanted to commit this real quick. Kadobes sometimes hangs out on the stream, but her canonical name was not canonically named. It was messed up. I fixed a couple of things in this script. Let me just amend this guy up to the old commit. And admit I'm an oyster hoarder. I mean, I think that hoarding oysters would be a really weird thing to hoard because I think they would probably go bad quickly, right? It's like you can't really keep oysters unless you refrigerate them, and then you got to eat them pretty quick, right? So I've got two commits in here. Basically, it's just this one. The release notes script, add an option to the release notes script that generates all of the PRs, all of the commits made by non-CRDB people over the last time duration. Release note for this release script thing is none. Okay. Yo, JonesCoo YX. This is a really neat thing. People ask me about this all the time. I should probably have a little command for it actually, but I use this plugin called get number. I'm gonna make I'll make a command for it right now. Commands add get number. Get number is a Git script that allows you to refer to files by number and not name. Holy geek. Get number, I think is the name of it. I think I would not be able to live without this. This is one of the like things that's made it into my script canon. And it is not going to go away from my script canon. So I would recommend checking it out if you feel like it. John P, I would like to write something in Go that uses CRDB. That's a great idea. You should. You got to think of an application that needs a database. And then you could do it. And then you could do it. Any application that needs a database will do. Right. Okay, so what do I want to do today? We've been talking. We've been talking. We've been chatting. We've been talking. So I got some feedback. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of streams ago, I was working on this React stuff. You remember that? Did all this React stuff. There's a couple of things I wanted to fix up on that again. It's still not merged, which is frustrating a bit. Yo, it's JPhils. What's up, dude? How's it going? Arjun made a blog CMS when he wanted to learn a database well. What are your tech interests, John? What are your tech interests? But anyway, yeah, so I was making this sessions thing that, whoops, wrong issue. Working on this page, right? It's working on this page. People had a bunch of feedback for me and I haven't responded to it yet. So I kind of want to check this thing out and respond to some of that feedback. Because yeah, I've just got to sort of do that, right? So let's make it happen. Let's see, sessions page. I too built a janky blog app, but Netlify and Hugo are just too good. Yeah, I hear Netlify is really where it's at these days, right? Trying to get to IKEA to rebuild the battle station. Rebuild? How's the air quality, Jay? Is everything okay with you? Rebuild makes me sound, kind of sounds like something disastrous happened, and I'm hoping that that didn't happen. Netlify is excellent. Yeah, my blog still runs on like a Linode server. Do you guys remember Linode? I've been having this Linode instance for like years and years and years and years. And it's just sitting there doing its thing with like Caddy, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, this is ancient. And every time it dies, I'm like, ugh. Not every time it dies, but every time I have to change it, I'm like, I forget how any of this stuff works. Kubernetes serverless Go functional programming are some of my current interests. Try to eliminate as much personal infrastructure. Yeah, I think that's a good policy. Kubernetes and serverless. Desk has a bad dip in the center. Oof, that's scary, dude. You don't want all of the goods to fall out, right? You don't want all the goods to fall out. Yeah. You got a lot of goods on that desk. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing? Let's, we'll give this the old make build. Give this the old make build. Knative. Not sure what that is, but I like the KN. I used to work at this company called Newton with a KN. And the shtick with Newton was that, what happened here? Go imports command not found. Uh-oh. I did something kind of weird recently, which is that I downgraded Go because of reasons. Why don't I have Go imports? Oh my God. How do I, anybody know how to install Go imports? Do I have to, I wonder if we have a makefile target for it. Do we? It's probably like, I just don't know the package path. I don't know why this would have happened. It's a little bit suspicious. You made a Terraform and Ansible for your Caddy setup, but your website is on GitHub Pages now. That's wise. TBH. I'm a little suspicious that my everything is broken. Like, that really shouldn't have happened, but I guess we'll have to see. knative.dev. Knative. Anyways, yeah, I worked at Newton, and the shtick at Newton was that everything that had an N should have a KN. You know, all the projects tried to stick a KN in there. I don't know. It got a little old, but every time I see a KN, it reminds me of Newton a little bit. Kubernetes-based platform to deploy and manage modern serverless workloads. Seems legit. Make your developers more productive. On top of Kubernetes. Okay, here's the thing. Actually, what I don't get about this, run serverless containers on Kubernetes with ease. It takes care of the details of networking. Black Lives Matter. Hell yeah. Knative. Deploying a container. What I don't get about this Kubernetes stuff, you guys, is that like there's all these products built on top of Kubernetes. And it's like, well, I guess I've just never really downloaded something like this, you know? But it's like, does this manage Kubernetes for you? Like, it just seems like it's so much deep infrastructure on top of deep infrastructure that it gets me kind of scared. Look, I have a confession. I'm scared of Kubernetes. Look, I said it. I said it. I'm a little scared of Kubernetes. I don't know how to use it. It's like, it feels like a black box. It feels like something I don't want to touch. I feel like I don't want to learn it. I've just been sort of ignoring it. It's probably not a good thing. Sometimes when you change Go versions, things will break, yeah. GitHub Pages origin is in the US. First load is not super snappy. We had the CDN due to first load not cached. Cloud Run is built on Knative. Oh, interesting. The Google hosted serverless thing. It's a behemoth. You need to do an operations team. You need an operations team to run it and assist with onboarding. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I have to say that one thing that I have enjoyed about working on the React stuff on the stream is that once, it's really all about build times, and it's really just because my computer is overtaxed doing OBS and everything. But once I've got everything built the first time, then the hot reload, you know, the hot reload, it's so good. You don't have to recompile anything to make changes and see them live. I think that's fun. It's good for the stream. That's why it's been fun, but I'm certainly not, just don't have that many projects to do on the front end right now, as far as I know anyway. But anyway, yeah, I have some feedback. You know, there's a couple of things I wanted to fix. Check it out. Get it merged. I really want to merge this. I'm really tired of this thing hanging out, not getting merged. July 27th. What's a good amount of time to keep something open? Definitely not 1 month, right? 1 month is kind of extreme. You're interested in Flutter. Flutter Kubernetes. I'm guessing I can add Kubernetes to that and it'll show me what you're talking about. Flutter.dev. Flutter.dev. Is this what you're talking about? Google's UI toolkit for building beautiful natively compiled apps for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base. That's the dream. It's the dream. It's absolutely the dream. And you don't have to do Electron. Nobody likes Electron, right? Electron leaves you with Slack that uses, 5 gigs of memory or whatever. Isn't that the thing? Isn't that the thing? Dart. So I know somebody who works on, wait, is it Dart? No, I'm actually thinking of the iOS equivalent. What is that language called in iOS? What the heck is that language called? iOS language. Swift. I know somebody who works on Swift. Somebody who used to work kind of in the RethinkDB sphere when I worked there. And somebody who worked on Factor. Do you guys know the language Factor? If you know this, I mean, you might know this person. I don't know. I think that the number of people who have an intersection with the language factor and the language Swift is probably 1. But factor is such a cool language. If you want to do, you know what's a good project? John P. Not John P. Who's the other one? Denny, if you need a project, here's what you should do. Implement a concatenative stack-based language on top of Go. That would be a fun project. Factor language. This is a cool language. It's very, very cool. It's very, very weird. If you've never seen a stack-based language like this, you're gonna be like, what the hell? Because it is bizarre. The idea is that everything is based on the stack. And if you want to add 2 numbers, then what you do is you push 2, you push 3, if you wanted to add 2 and 3, and then you push plus, and plus is a word. And if it sees, a word takes arguments, and the arguments are sitting on the stack. So you say 2, 3, plus, and then the plus is going to eat up the last 2 things on the stack, whatever they may be, and it's going to deposit its results back on the stack. So instead of signatures, things are sort of defined as their quote unquote stack effect. And so the stack effect of plus, I guess, would be, it removes 2 things and it adds 1 thing back. Kind of crazy. Stack Overflow. Polish notation. Yeah, it's sort of like reverse Polish notation, poo-poo, I think. I guess it's sort of the same, honestly. I mean, the difference is that it's like, I think reverse Polish notation is really just about, scalar expressions in arithmetic. But I think with this stuff, it's like, there's all sorts of crazy stuff. You also need to be able to manipulate the stack, and it's like a language. It's got garbage collection. It's got macros. I don't even know. I mean, I haven't dug in super deep to this. One time I implemented a Lisp in factor, which was pretty fun, but it was quite hard. Yo, Lithium, what's up? How's it going, man? Nice to see you. I was involved in Go since it's beta, but I never really got to enjoy the community until I discovered the Go Twitch community. Thanks for, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for being such a good viewer. VS Code keeps surprising me with how performant it is with Electron. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the Gopher Slack is awesome. You guys should all be in the Gopher Slack if you like Go. Okay, here we go. That took absolutely forever. But so this page I've been working on, this sessions page, right? And I think, let's see, one of the things I wanted to fix is that Filter P, what's up, dude? Spent a year learning Kubernetes, more into serverless these days. Netlify functions is a great way to try it out. I should check that out. Netlify is where it's all at, apparently. I want to spend a year learning Kubernetes. That seems like a really valuable use of time. But here's the thing. Look, so if I click onto one of these things, here's the debate. Let's take one of these sessions and let's make it do something. We'll say select PG sleep. PG sleep is my favorite command for this demo because it just does nothing for a long time. So I have my PG sleep. I go to my sessions page. I click into this thing. The debate is, if I terminate this query, should this page be updated or not? Should this page be updated or not? In this context, you might think yes, right? Because you're like, well, if the session closes or the query stops, yes, it should refresh so you know what the session is doing. But the problem is actually that, let's imagine you had a real workload where there was like a lot of sessions and they were all doing shit tons of stuff constantly, because of course at computer speed is not human speed, and computer speed moves really fast. And so what you would see is, things changing constantly, too much. You wouldn't be able to sit and look and understand, right? So that's the debate. And I think the consensus of the debate is that you really want to freeze this view. And you can update it at refresh, but you want to keep it steady until the user initiates an action for that. Yeah, so MD Layer, the cool thing about React and Redux and all of these things is that the dynamic reload is automatic. So you don't have to do anything to make this really work. Well, you have to do a little. Once like Redux is set up and everything, the way it works is that there's all these listeners, and React will pay attention when your backing data source changes and refresh itself. So I didn't have to write that, right? That's just the easy thing. So what's kind of crazy is that it's like, wow, the easy thing was wrong. And I think the slightly harder thing, but maybe easier in an old school world, would be just show me things as they were when I clicked. Jones Koo says, how about notification changes pending? No reload, but indicate new events. That's an interesting idea. So you could say like, so basically it would be sitting here. Let's try this again. Basically it would be sitting here and you'd see your PD sleep. And at the top, you'd get a little thing that's like, uh-oh, session is no longer doing the thing that you think it is. Click me to refresh. I kind of like that. I don't know how to do that. That sounds a little bit hard, but maybe not. Maybe not. But let's at least try to get the simple sort of static thing set up, because I don't think it's going to be that bad. So let's see. So there's this watcher. How do I get this watcher going? CD package UI, make UI watch, target. That's what Confluence does on edits. Ooh, Confluence. Now Confluence, Confluence is an app. It's an app. If you're a Confluence lover, or if you work on Confluence, I'm sorry, but I don't think that Confluence has such a good UI. I don't like it. I think it's bad. So I think in this particular case, you might be right, that little call out is pretty nice. But just thinking about taking cues from Confluence kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's like, you don't want to, I don't know if that's the best thing for me to be taking cues from. Okay. So if I go to 3000, this is now this hot reload area. So now if I change the code, it'll update in here and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do some stuff. Let's do some stuff. So my page that I was working on here is called sessions page, session details page, I think. Session details page. Session details. You tried to install CRDB on X Ubuntu running on an old EPC the other week. An EPC, I have one of those. But you got an error with the install. It was something like not being able to find SH. Yikes. I don't know, dude. That sounds terrible. Wait. Hold on. You guys, don't go anywhere. Okay, check this out. You ready for this? What do you think? This is it. This is my EPC, dude. This thing is old. This thing is old. This thing probably doesn't work. Check out this sticker. Google Summer of Code 2011. I feel proud of that. This is one of my proudest open source achievements. Google Summer of Code 2011. This is the summer 2011 in which I implemented persistent undo in Vim. One of my proudest open source achievements to this day, even including all the other stuff. Persistent undo in Vim is, I think it's actually without a doubt my proudest open source achievement. I love that thing. Just makes me feel so good every time I think about that. You guys know about persistent undo? It's the thing where it's like, you go to Vim, you know, let's like, so you got your file, right? And you do some stuff into it. And then when you go back into it and quit again or whatever, you can undo the stuff even if you quit, right? It used to be that if you quit, your undo buffer would be gone. Oh man, I do. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try that again. Thank you, MD Layer. I'll do the demo again. So here's my file. It's empty. Hello world, and also Twitch. I can undo, even though I quit Vim. I did that. I did that. I wrote some terrible C code that serializes the undo tree to this thing in your Vim directory. Vim undo, and then it, you know, there's all these files, right? So it's like users, Jordan, bar. This is the undo file for the hello world, hello Twitch thing. Pretty attractive looking file, huh? Pretty good stuff. Nicely serialized binary crap. Nicely serialized binary crap. Not the C code part. Yeah, dude, it was hard. I have to say that it's very hard. It was very hard. Bram Moulinar, really nice guy. He helped me quite a bit. I couldn't have done that on my own. But if you're young and you want to do Google Summer Code, I very much recommend it. Why is this stuff changed? It's probably because I installed Go imports, right? I don't want any of that. To turn it on, you have to do. You have to do this. You gotta say these things. Set undo file, and then you can set your undo dir if you want. If you don't set undo dir, it'll write the undo files to the same directory as the files that you're editing, I think. I'm so happy you can't do pointer arithmetic in Go. Are you happy? I'm like a little sad about that. You kind of can with unsafe, but you kind of can if you really want. Anyway, all right. What am I doing? What am I doing? Restart this server. Restart this server. See if we can actually manage to do any programming. That would be cool. That would be cool. Okay. Okay. So here is the thing about React, is that we have to figure out basically when we load this component. I think what I basically want to do is when we load this component, I want to get the data at that point and then never like hook into updates from that data. I don't exactly know how to do that, but that's basically what I want to do here. So I think this selector is about how we translate. So like the way that all of this stuff works. Yeah, it's definitely got secrets. You should probably keep that. I mean, I don't know. If it's your personal machine, maybe it doesn't matter, but if it's tempfs, then it sort of defeats the purpose a little bit. I mean, I guess how often do you restart your computer? I don't really know. But yeah, so basically the idea here is that like if I have one of these sessions, I can go to it and there's this sort of ugly looking session ID thing in the URL. This really should be a UUID, by the way. That's another thing I want to fix. Like right now I couldn't find a UUID parsing library for JavaScript, so I just punted and we just send it as bytes encoded as decimals or whatever. I mean, just normal integers. But I kind of want to make these UUIDs. I kind of want to display the session at the session ID up here. That's another thing. But anyway, so when I go to this page, I think that the selector is kind of about figuring out which session to retrieve from the store. But I think the refreshing part is kind of different. Yo, Full Gamer, what's up? I am working on fixing up this database sessions page thing that I've been working on for like a month, responding to some comments, trying to make it a little bit better. trying to use my bad knowledge of React to do something like that's probably pretty straightforward if you know React. But welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good Friday. I think what I want to do is like learn, look, component, React component did mount. Tell me about what this is about. I feel like this is probably a basic thing. State and lifecycle. That sounds pretty relevant, right? Okay, so whenever, this is kind of relevant, right? Whenever the clock is rendered to the DOM for the first time, we get this event called mounting. And I think, presumably, what we want to do is get rid of this one. Component did update. You're not having a good Friday? Oh, I'm sorry. You're working on your PHP skills. That's cool. That is cool. I don't know PHP. Presumably there's this update thing, and presumably this update thing is not useful for me. I don't really understand. Who like calls this, right?
The databank's too
Who calls
big.
this?
I have to narrow down the search. How are you
Component
gonna do
did
that?
update.
By guessing.
An update can be caused by changes to props or state. These methods are called in the following order when a component is being re-rendered. Get drive state from props. Should component update. Should component update. So I have to do it maybe before render? Basically, I just like don't really want to call this thing. What happens if I just don't call it? Let's find out. So if I save this guy, then this thing should refresh. One would think. One would think. This thing will refresh, right? And here's the question. If I then make it do something, will it refresh? Will it refresh? The answer appears to be no. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like that's, maybe I'll just keep it like that. That's pretty simple. I'll say a comment. Normally we would refresh the sessions here, causing, I mean, does this even make any sense? It feels like it's a little out of order, you know? It's like, feels like it's a little out of order. Maybe it isn't though. Like maybe what it's saying is that like, this always gets called every time any of the props or state updates, and then it's our responsibility to pull out the session info that we actually care about from the updated state. What I don't understand is why then the order is this. Like this seems sort of opposite. Sort of seems opposite, right? It's like, why would you render before? I wonder if this should really live in component should update, you know? Jones Koo also started with PHP. First commercial code was an SMS spamming tool for restaurants for the regulars in PHP plus MySQL. That's awesome. Full Gamer started with C#. What was everybody else's first programming language? Mine was Hyperscript. You know Hyperscript? Hyperscript. It's this thing for, oh my god, it doesn't even come up. Hypercard, Hyperscript. Did you guys ever see this thing? It's this Mac thing. This is like a bad. It looked like this. It looked like this. You could make these little. You could make cards and stacks, and cards could have little scripts. So that's that was the very first programming I ever did, was in this Hyperscript thing. Crystal Gamer, what's up? Nice to see you. Visual Basic. Oh, you know, actually, I think I might take it back. I think I did some QBasic even before HyperScript and HyperCard. You guys remember QBasic? Gorilla.bass? Who remembers Gorilla.bass? React lifecycle events shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, exactly. It predates AppleScript and Automator. Exactly. Jones Scoo. Exactly. Should update. What is the deal? Component should update. Teach me, internet. Please. Should I use should component update? This is like a performance escape hatch. I guess, why do I care about this? I just don't understand like why. Just feels a little out of order. I don't know. Anyway, I'll just write a comment and move. Vilter P. Don't use it. No side effects and should update. No side effects and should update. I'm trying to make it. It already updates on an interval. What I'm trying to understand, this is how it looked like before. It looked like this. When I get component did update as a trigger, I refresh my sessions, which is hooked up to Redux. This is a Redux thing. What I don't understand is if, according to the documentation, component did update happens after render. Why is that? It feels like this, it just feels like I should update my sessions when the props are changed, if I have to, and only then render. So I don't understand why it comes at the end. It's a bit confusing. Started with C and never like function pointers. But we don't want to have the per session page update whenever our data source updates, because in real workloads, sessions change what they're doing very regularly, leading to a confusing and too fast refreshing page experience for people trying to understand what happened in a, or what is happening in a particular session. So basically, yeah, I kind of just don't want to do anything in this. But I don't understand why they're out of order. You know, I'm just confused conceptually about why that is. And I think just not doing this here does seem to solve this problem. It just feels, it feels confusing and I don't really get it. Anyway. So that's that. And now let's see, I wonder if I click this. Seems good. Seems good. Did update is in case you want to grab something out of the DOM after render. Like if you're using some third-party non-React widget. Oh my God. Okay, that sounds like this is totally an abuse then. This doesn't seem correct at all. This seems like totally backwards. Map dispatch to props. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I am completely out to lunch and C. Completely out to C. Try not to be out to lunch. But I guess, like, I wish I sort of knew the pattern that you were supposed to use. Map dispatch to props, right? That's the critical piece here. With router, React router, right? Yes, there is kind of Vilter P. So there's a, it's a polar. There's a poll happening every 10 seconds. what the heck is this file called? There's a file that's called, I don't know. Hold on. There is a, correct. I wanted to not update with the poll. Precise. Exactamente. Bop, bop, bop. Oh my god. This is like the most giant PR. How do I find that one file that is the one that's doing the polling again? I think it's this. API reducers. 10 seconds. So here's how it works. Sessions reducer object. How does this work? I have no idea. But what it does is that every 10 seconds, it calls api.getSessions. And it sticks it into something called a cache data reducer. And then elsewhere, it's hooked up to some other magic thing. I don't know, it's all magic. Might need to store previous versions of the session data with a version ID. Is that strictly necessary though? Like, cause isn't it the case that you could just, oh, otherwise you're sort of working against the grain of React. Hard to make it not render things when they change. Oh no. It's definitely working against the grain, but I gotta work against the grain sometimes. A version ID? Ugh. That's like so much, that feels like a lot of work. Feels like quite a lot of work. So tell me something then. MVCC style. Tell me something though. What is this then? Refresh sessions. Let's try to figure out what this did. Supposedly I coded this. Sessions reducer object refresh. Refresh is the primary action creator that should be used to refresh the cached data. Dispatching it will attempt to asynchronously refresh the cached data if and only if the request is not in flight, its results are not considered valid, or it has no invalidation period. Okay, did that help me? Not really, but I mean, what is interesting is that like, how come if React is so into pushing you updates constantly, how come there's a thing that I have to call to get a refresh? I think the answer is that nobody else is going to be pushing this button unless I do? Is that kind of it? Is it sort of like there's no background loop that's hitting this refresh thing? I don't really know. What does the polling react to your code? It's kind of it's a bit ambiguous. It's a bit ambiguous. I mean, here's the truth. The ground truth is that if I comment that line out, if I comment this line out, it doesn't refresh. So it's sort of like I kind of want to just leave it at that, in a sense, right? I kind of want to just leave it at that. If I run something here, wait. If I run something here, it's not going to refresh, even after 10 seconds. So I think it's basically fine. Maybe it's a hack. Is it a hack? I don't know. I put a comment. If you put a comment after your hack, it's okay, right? I think that's how it works. So, okay. Next thing I wanted to do was make it so that I can display this here UUID in a non-disgusting manner. Yeah, so I think, Jonesco, I think that that's what this is. I'm fairly sure that if I call this.props.refresh sessions, that is me polling. And it just so happens that it's sort of hooked up to this component did update thing, which this part feels like a bit of a hack, honestly, but I'm just sort of copying other hacks, so I feel okay about it. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. Maybe a nice animation with reverse progress bar before refresh would be nice UX. Oh my God, that's like next level. I'm not trying to get next level right now, but I think you're totally right. I think you're totally right. Right now I'm trying to just survive. I'm just trying to survive. So let's see. I want to get this session ID somewhere. Like maybe up here. Active session details. Active session blah details. Maybe if I just, maybe I could just put it right here or something like that. Would that look good? I don't know. So if I put session, oops, session ID. Then I think session ID with a capital D. The problem is that it's going to be looking like this. Oh wait, do I not put a... I always forget when I put one of those dollars or not. We're all just trying to survive until the weekend. Exactly, exactly. So this is ugly. I got to turn this baby into a UUID. Anybody know how to do that? I certainly do not. Let's see. So if I go to my sessions table page, sessions TSX. If I go to this page, what is it called? Sessions table, sessions table content. So somewhere, I gotta have the ID somewhere, right? It's like in this link. Session age. Sessions table. So a session link is defined as this. So my session, oh yeah. This is actually so annoying. So the session ID is this like uint8 array, which is done this way because of protobuf. Like the way that the encoding that we get from the backend here is some kind of like heinous protobuf JSON melange. And the type that it uses for a UUID in this particular case is this uint8 array, which is just a bunch of bytes. And I guess I have to figure out how to turn those bytes into a nicely formatted UUID. And I'm guessing that there's a library for this. I don't really want to have to implement that myself. But I think last time I looked at it, there wasn't such a library in our code base. UUID. Do we have anything for this? I don't know. I'll just Google it. So let's see. Parse UUID from bytes JavaScript. So then you get into the world of NPM, right? And then you get something like this. Note, this module is no longer maintained. Is that a good thing? Do you need to maintain a module that parses UUIDs? Like, I don't know. UUID parse. UUID. This is looking pretty good. UUID parse. But what does it mean if it's no longer maintained, right? Please check out, make sure to check out the repository. Okay, so here's another one. There's something called UUID.js. And it says it can give you a UUID v4. And it can convert a UUID string into an array of bytes. And it can convert an array of bytes to a UUID string. Well, I want this. UUID.stringify. So how do I install a package? Presumably that's not here. Okay. Here's a new world. Here's a new world. Here's a new world. How do I see the things that I depend on in this world? Is it this? Anything? Okay, so what if I just add UUID.js UUID to this list? Or do I have to use yarn? Is it yarn? I think there's a readme here, right? Is there a yarn thing? Yarn add, yarn install. Managing dependencies. Flaky, blah, blah, blah. Check our JavaScript dependencies into version control. Yarn RC. Yarn add. Okay, so I just do this. I say yarn add foo. Okay, okay. Well, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. Yarn. Yarn. We're doing yarn. It's gonna be amazing. I am God mode. Oh my God. Full gamer, that project is out of date. Thank you. Thank you, MD Layer, for using the handy exclamation point keyboard command. What's up, I am God mode? How are you doing? Okay, so that was pretty straightforward. We added a new thing. It says it's version 8. Oh yeah, is there some problem? Did I try this once and there was problems with TypeScript or something? They look similar, do they? ErgoDocs has that big fat, like, isn't it kind of big, the ErgoDocs? I've never seen one in person, actually. I've never seen one in person. UUID dot something. Give me some auto-completion, my friend. Stringify. Yeah, so I think the last time I did this, there was some issues with like, with the fact that like, this needs to have a TypeScript definition or something. So I couldn't import it. I couldn't import it because of TypeScript or something. What's the deal with that? So if I search for UUID.js TypeScript, what do I get? Ah, 8.3. Okay, so 17 days ago they updated this, and that was after the last time that I tried that. Okay, that's great. So then I think if I do yarn add types UUID. Did you guys, have you, let me tell you something. One time I went to a keyboard meetup in Brooklyn, the New York City Mechanical Keyboards meetup of 2018, something like that. It was amazing. So many keyboards there. It was out of control. They had a little competition for typing. I did not participate, but it was really quite fun. That was like the nerdiest thing I think I might have ever done. But it was really fun, and I would recommend doing such things if they have those in your city. How did I don't know how this stuff works. So if I say import stringify from UUID.js, is that how that works? Probably not, right? Cannot find module UUID.js. Okay, that seems to be working. Can I just say import UUID? Looks like I can. So how come this doesn't work exactly? I don't get that. Maybe that's just not how TypeScript really works. Import stringify from stringify session ID. Session ID. Is this gonna work? Props dot, right? Forever be jealous of the hyper-specific tech meetups? Yeah, I don't know, dude. There is no meetups now. There's no meetups. Meetups are dead. Session ID does not exist. It's just ID. Oh my god, did it work? Okay, UUID, can I just say session ID is equal to... I also think that I was getting meetup burnout. And so we've been trying to hire DevRel at Cockroach Labs, and the people that I talk to in DevRel, I've noticed a theme based on these people that I've been talking to, which is that they think that even before COVID, the industry was developing meetup fatigue, which I think is true. I think there used to be so many meetup.com meetups for like random crap, like all the time. Like every night there would be like, oh, like go to the Clojure meetup, go to the High Performance Go meetup, go to the metrics meetup or something. And then I think over time I noticed that those things started happening a little bit less. And I think it's because people just got exhausted, at least in New York. I don't know. So I don't know if that was a trend that's real or if it's just people were sort of saying that. So do I want to add it to this table? I think yes. I think it should be the first thing. But the most important thing is we actually want to make this URL look a little bit better first off, right? So session ID, just go like this. And then over in the session details page, when we grab the ID from our URL, I think we actually want to do, I think maybe this will just work on its own, perhaps. Where do I match this session ID with the actual state stuff, right? Is it this? So return, yeah. So it's really like I need to now deparse this thing using uuid.parse. So I'll say, I wish I could like alias these things, but I just don't know how. I guess I type, whoops. TypeScript, alias, import. I'm using TypeScript full gamer right now. I'm just doing a little bit of the old TypeScript front end stuff, but mostly I do Go. Just trying to get this damn PR done. I've been working on it on the stream for so long, and I really want to just ship it already because I'm not very good at TypeScript. I'm not very good at TypeScript. How do I path aliases? That doesn't sound right. I just want to like, oh, I say like this, v4 as UUID v4. I guess I could say that. So going back to my table, if I say import stringify as UUID stringify, is that like the way to do it? I don't know, but it sure works. It sure works. So I'll say import parse as UUID parse from UUID. And then back down here, I'll say UUID parse. All right. So let's see if that did anything good. See if that did anything good. So back over here, kind of seems like my link is still a bunch of numbers. So it looks like maybe there's some errors to take care of though. Cannot find module UUID. Excuse me. Excuse me, princess. Excuse me. I thought that maybe I have to rerun it since I added a dependency. Perhaps that's the problem. Kind of seems like the answer is yes. Kind of seems like the answer is yes. It's doing a bunch of new stuff because I added an import. Still need to come up with some new emote ideas. Still need to do that. Yo, Chachi, what's up, dude? How did you learn to type? Was that something you learned growing up? I just started trying to get better at typing with all 10 fingers using Typing Club. It's been fun. Typing Club, I think I learned to type in like, yeah, I was in school. They taught me in school. So I was lucky, I guess. But Typing Club's pretty fun. I kind of had to relearn when I did the whole split thing. Because, you know, I was typing like T and Y with the wrong finger, kind of. So I had to relearn that stuff. I know, dude. It's out of control how slow this stuff is. I don't even know, man. It's like so frustrating. So frustrating. Webpack. Yeah, exactly. It's the... Wait, C? But C is so far over. I could see B. Did you do B, C, and V all with your right finger? I'm guessing, yeah. So just Z and X were your left finger bottom rows. Dude, is this like broken? What is going on with this? Nah. Little buddy Webpack taking 1 million years to do its job. I might appreciate... What? Cannot resolve. Get away from me with this. I am Jay Chang. What's up? ES build, an extremely fast thing. Why build another JavaScript build tool? Because all the current ones suck. 100 times faster than the other JavaScript bundlers. Oh my God. We have to use this. Extreme speed, dude. Webpack is sitting up here at 44 seconds and ES build is down at 0.36. We gotta use that. We gotta use that. How come we're not using that right now? So how is it so fast exactly? Like, what does it do? This seems amazing. Why can't we use this right now? Why is it fast? It's written in Go. It's written in Go. Hear that, everybody? A language that compiles to native code. Everything is parallelized. Everything is done in very few passes without expensive data transformations. Code is written with speed in mind and tries to avoid unnecessary allocations. Dude, it's the dream. It's the dream. We gotta use this. We gotta use ES build. All right, so what the heck is going on with this though? Module not found. No paste. Cannot resolve types UUID. Well, why not? Why not? Did I not? Okay, what did I do? I changed package.json to add the things. I ran yarn add. Do I need to run yarn vendor? It looks like I changed yarn vendor. ls package UI. ls yarn vendor? What is it? I see that it hasn't been vendored, dude. It hasn't been vendored. This is it's kind of like a crazy melange of all sorts of stuff. I am God mode. You got Go, you got TypeScript, you got React, you got friggin' protobuf compilers and stuff. Check out this Go trace of ES build. Okay. Go's built-in execution trace is amazing. It makes it easy to see parallel versus serial. Seems powerful. What are you talking about? Bazel? I am God mode? Are you talking about Bazel? Is that written in Go? This looks epic. I don't even know. This looks really fun. Fun stuff. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is going to be one that really feeds the trolls for Go versus Rust. I've got a stupid question, but I'll ask. Go's convenience and cross-platformness aside, would there be any performance gains from using Rust? I have some thoughts here. Long story short, ES build used to be written in Rust, but Go wove me over. I'm much more productive in Go. Exactly. That's exactly why I like Go. I'm sure Rust would be somewhat faster with enough effort. but not by much. 100%. Hard to tell at the fixed zoom level, but wonder if there's lock contention due to all the thin white spaces. PLZ, please.build. Please.build. What the? I never even heard of this. Never even heard of this. It seems like, what? What is this? What is this? How come I've literally never heard of this in my entire life? Thought machine? What is thought machine? I think I've heard of that. So we want to switch to Bazel. That's something. We want to switch to Bazel. Do you know about Bazel? Does Bazel and please build, are they related? Do they compete with each other? Yeah, how do I add a dependency? I did yarn add. Get status will do some stuff. Changes to package.json. Changes to yarn vendor are unique to the offline mirror mode. So I added, what is this? This is just like a, is it normal to just have a file that has like a giant SHA as its name? Is that normal? Doesn't seem to be normal. What the heck is this? What if I just delete it? It kind of seems like it didn't add the non-TypeScript one, right? It went like this, right? Please was inspired by Bazel/Blaze, but also takes pages out of the books of Buck and Pants. Interesting. I'm interested in that. I'm definitely interested in that. Hey Google, turn on the light. I love that. Okay, so if I go back to my vendor, what do I get? I get this weird, what the heck, dude? What is this? I'm so confused. Why would it? I triggered the Google Home on your desk. Sorry. Sorry about that. Do you have your lights hooked up? Hook your key light up with it. Use your Stream Deck to control that. It's cool. Yo, I'm upset. I'm sad. What is this? Dude. Okay, so in my lock file, it does seem like I in fact added this new package. Great. And I've added this new package. It seems like this package is working fine. And this package is not working so fine. Maybe, perhaps am I only supposed to install this or something? This like at types thing? I know like these TypeScript things are supposed to be there to like add type definitions to the JavaScript packages, basically. But like, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. So let's read this again. What does it do? I see, so it reruns yarn install offline. Oh my God, don't tell me it's gonna regenerate all of that stuff again. Am I sure about package name? No. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good point, right? npm install UUID. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay, so what if I did yarn install UUID? Yarn add. Yeah, what's kind of weird though is that like it did pick up that dependency in the IDE auto completion, which says to me that like something got installed, but maybe it was just the types or something. Yeah, maybe it was just that like weird TypeScript. Well, that seems promising. So let's see cd yarn vendor. Oh, this is looking a lot better. Okay, let's delete this weird thing. Thanks for that suggestion, Jones. Seems very legit. Who's ready to sit for like 5 minutes waiting for NPM? Who wants to get ES build running? Now that would not be something that I could accomplish on my own, but it would be sweet. Who knows about build or like merge bots, by the way? I know a couple of people in the chat do, but does anybody else have opinions about this thing? Does anybody know about boars? Does anybody use alternatives to boars is another question that I have. So the thing that boars does is that it automatically merges stuff using various policies that tries to be more efficient than requiring everybody to rebase their stuff all the time. The idea is that it's supposedly going to prevent quote unquote merge skew, where there's no merge conflicts, like textual merge conflicts, no textual merge conflicts, but there's some kind of, you know, non-textual conflict that prevents the tests from passing or the build from succeeding. So the idea with boars is that it automatically tries to bundle a bunch of PRs together and runs tests on them all together. And if it passes, it merges them all at once. And if it fails, then it bisects the batch and tries to find all of the subsets of the batch that could merge correctly, in a sense. Point being is that it's supposed to automatically isolate the things that are conflicting and, you know, return an error about those things rather than causing master to be read. So I think it's a great idea, but in practice, we've had a lot of issues with it. It's written in Elixir, which is something that I'm not too comfortable looking at. And it's just, I don't know, it seems like there's a bunch of little bugs with it. Like the way that it checks commit status is a little bit messed up. And overall, I sort of just wish that there was something like this, but better. And I'm wondering if anybody knows about this and has an alternative in mind that they have in their heads. It's such a cool idea as the thing. Oh my God, same thing. Cannot resolve UUID v4 in, so it actually seems, is there a conflict? Is there a conflict? Like, I have no idea what, I have no idea what this means or what to do, frankly. Cannot resolve UUID v4 in some other package. That's what it's saying, right? Binaries? What? I just don't understand. Like, it's probably the code for the, maybe I should just copy the code. Should I just copy the code in, you guys? What's the license of this thing? I might just do that. The MIT license. Are you allowed to just copy code from MIT licensed stuff? Just want to bury my head in my hands at this moment. Cannot resolve UUID v4. I mean, what does that mean? So if I go into here, It's like there's two packages both requiring UUID, right? And they don't work well together. That's what I think is happening. Or something like that. Yeah, it's got to be something like that, Jones. It's got to be something like that. So if I look at my, whoops. If I look at, it's just like, I don't know exactly why it's so painful to do something like this. So no, it kind of seems like these are the only two UUID related dependencies in the list. Here's the thing though, if I go to my Yarn vendor, there are several other of these UUID packages, like all of these. Like what? What? Why are there so many? Like who depends on them? And what are the conflicts, right? What are the conflicts? That's kind of the ultimate question. What would happen if I... What happens if I just delete these? Does that do anything good? Should we move the types package as div dependency only? Do you think that'll fix it? It does seem like everybody else does that. Yeah. What's up, Nicholas? Yeah, this is god awful, I gotta say. It is god awful. Ultimately, all I wanted to do, it's really sad. It's like all I wanted to do is this, right? This is all just a little bit of code. Turn some bytes into a formatted UUID. And to do that, I have to compile the universe. You're happy it's the weekend? Yeah, I get that. I feel that. Yeah, nice language, but UX of tooling sucks for newbie. Yeah, exactly. I feel exactly the same way, Jones. I mean, yeah, the language does seem really nice, to be honest. But the stuff like this, it's just like, oh my God, how can this really be like this? It's just wow. I think the answer is that there's probably been a lot of progress. You know, ES build seems like the dream, and people probably use that more in their projects that are newer, and probably they just don't have issues like this. They use the modern tools, but trying to upgrade a big fat build from an old thing to a new thing is probably just not that easy. You know? Just makes me laugh, man. Just really makes me laugh. All right. We got a worker farm. This thing is being compiled with a worker farm. Never knew. Okay, 2 minutes later, we have exactly the same error. No, dude. No. Not acceptable. It's really not acceptable. I could just, you know, it would be a lot easier than doing this. It would be changing the protobuf API that returns the ID in Go to return a UUID. I might honestly, well, I don't know if I can do that because it would probably break other stuff, but I think it would just be, it would be a lot simpler. Where does that live? It's in like, server pb dot something, right? Status dot proto. Like, it would be so much easier if I were to just, in this protobuf, change this to be a string. It just feels like unconscionable. It just feels unconscionable to really do that, is the only problem. It's like so many evils. You got the evil of trying to import anything in TypeScript, apparently, and then you got the evil of sending multiple things over the wire for no reason. I don't know. This is driving me crazy. What other things do I have to do? It's like, it's just too, it hurts me too badly to be continually banging my head against this. Yeah, I can add it as a string, but then you're like sending twice the data, Jones, and it's like every request will be sending twice the data, you know, for the ID, and that feels wrong too. It feels like really what you should be able to do is parse a damn bytes UUID inside of JavaScript. That doesn't seem crazy. It doesn't seem crazy. One plane, how are you doing? The wire format. The wire format is bytes. Here's the problem. I can't figure out how to parse a UUID in JavaScript from bytes because of import issues. It's a struggle. This is a real struggle. I wonder, maybe there's a newer version of Analytics Node. How about that? Should I go down this path? What if I go down the path of trying to upgrade all these random dependencies? No, because you got to insert the stupid dashes, right? And it's like, I could do that, right? I could write. It just feels wrong, you know? Like you have to. Do I want to be the one to maintain the UUID parsing library for the front end? All right. Okay, I bow to the popular demand. We'll do it. We'll do it this way. So let's undo this thing. Okay, so basically last time I did this, the way that it worked was that I like did this, I think, and then it gave me a bunch of numbers. And maybe there's like a 2 hex thing is what you're saying. 2 hex JavaScript. Your number dot toString. Your number equals parse int. Okay, so in this case, let's see. I've got I think these are like, are these like decimal bytes? What are these? Hold on. So if I go to this thing, I guess I've got to, all right, we've got to now recompile this damn thing. I guess we can go like this. So it's some kind of like base 64 thing, I guess. If you want to take bytes and make them into a UUID, you can use GCHQ's data hacker thing. What's that? So I think this is what we used to have. And if we did this, why don't we test it over? Yeah, we'll test it here. No matter what we have to do, we have to run the stupid Webpack again. Okay, hopefully this will be the last time we run Webpack in a while. You can plug in arbitrary data to test JavaScript encoders. Oh man. GCHQ data hacker. It's literally called JavaScript data hacker. No. Cyber Chef? GCHQ Cyber Chef. Holy crap. Oh my god. This is so funny, dude. This is so funny. We're cyber chefing. Okay, so give me from base 64. And then I could say 2 hex. Wow. That's truly amazing. This is so funny. Who made this? Okay, so it probably has UUID, but it probably uses UUID v4 library, which I can't import for like some reason that I really don't understand. So let's see. If I were to do it this way, I think what I actually have is like something that looks like this, right? Okay, one sec. Just gotta fix this. I think I didn't revert from the old everything is broken town. So let's get this back to normal. All right, so that's all working. This is what we've got. So we don't have any base 64 or anything. What we have is a bunch of numbers, and what we want to do is from decimal, maybe? Like, I actually don't have any idea what format this is at all, frankly, because it's all... So, hold on. What we really want to do is... okay, so at this point we already have turned it into whatever it wants to be. I guess what we could do is probably match I see, we could sort of try to, if we like from decimal this thing. Oh, we can't do that. Use stop sign to delete a step. Check out readme of UUID deep requires now deprecated. Deep requiring. Oh my god. This is just an absolute mega nightmare, dude. React UUID? Should we just try a different library, you guys? Is that what we should do? This is so wild. What are the, like, how do I see the things that this thing provides? This is insane. How do I see the... What? How do I see the source code? Am I crazy? Am I absolutely on... Do I click versions? I'm like completely lost. This seems busted. Rick Brown, dude? Rick Brown, where are you at in the world? Okay, what if I just go to Rick Brown's GitHub? This is sketch, man. This is all it is. This is all it is. This is all it is. This is so busted. This is 1000% busted. It doesn't give you a type of UI. This is just some like random. No, we're out of here. We're out of here. It's not even valid UUID. This is the world of JavaScript. I'm starting to lose my mind. I'm starting to absolutely lose my mind. Okay. Make sure the bleach is out of reach. Yeah. All right. Okay. Give me. I want to be able to see what like join point is here. So let's just say, we just say like, we'll just print it here basically. Props.session.id.join. We'll do it like this or something. Okay, so it's like I guess we just have to hexify each of these numbers, and then we'll get the hex string, more or less. So we need to figure out a way to do that. Can I dot map in this? So each of the things is a number too. Oh, wait a minute. So if it's a number, then can I just like, is there like a 2 hex kind of thing? No. JavaScript. I learned this at yeah. How do I? It just feels kind of wrong to do that. I mean, I guess I could try it. So I would say like map function, n index. Why would you get the array? I don't really know. Gives you back a return n or something. Or it would be return, what was it? N dot to string 16. I don't even remember the syntax for anything, frankly. Is this right? Doesn't seem to be right. Do I need to like, oh my God. Oh my absolute God, dude. Yes, give me the basic JavaScript. I love you people. How come, but it takes multiple arguments, right? I don't understand. How can you do that if it takes multiple arguments? Type string is not assignable to type number. Is this like a... I need like a generic mapper. I need like a generic mapper. I didn't type that. What's up, Nikon? How's it going? This thing is like this is like a uint8 specific map function or something like that, because it's only letting me return numbers. You love Cockroach TV, but you don't have a chance to use it. Oh, sorry to hear that. A typed array of 8 int unsigned integer values. Do I have to just do a little loop? Is there not like a generic map function that I can pass to any array-like thing? A.for each? You know? Yeah, I'm dealing with the byte buffers JavaScript. Exactly. I'll just make a new thing. So I'll say, is there like a string builder in JavaScript, or you do not really need that? String builder JavaScript. Or do I could do it this way? Okay, we'll try this. So we'll say const hex digits. This is so lame. I can't get over how lame this is. Oh my god. Okay, so I've got this array, and I'm gonna say for each. This is not valid anything, presumably. What if I put it up here? Do the processing up here. Okay, so for each thing, I will say I will say hex digits. How do I do that? Dot push. Is that a thing? Digits dot push. T dot toString. T dot toString. All right. And then I can say, I can make my UUID by this is like literally the saddest shit of all time. Imagine if I had AI Majidef. Should I? Yeah. Have you guys played with the GPT-3 like code completer thing? I could probably just be like, convert me a UUID thing, and the GPT-3 would just do it for me automatically. Yeah, exactly. That'd be pretty sick. What was I doing? I was gonna say UUID format. UUID format. It's got 8, 8, 4, 4, 4, 10 or something, right? 12? 8, 4, 4, 4, 12? GPT-3 fixes import error. Exactly. Wouldn't that be sweet? Wouldn't that be sweet? So I'll say who knows how to do this is a Go for loop. What's a freaking JavaScript for loop look like? Is it different in TypeScript? I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, looks like that. So if I could say for I is equal to, I guess I say const var I is equal to 0, I is less than 8, I plus plus. I can say, I guess I need my string now. Var UUID is equal to this, let. I guess I can say UUID. Nah, what I really wanted to do is like, I want to say like hex digits. Can I slice in this language? Can I say hex digits 0 through 8? Is that a thing? Probably not. TypeScript slice array. So I could say, how about this? I'll say dot join nothing. Aha. Okay, how about this? Const UUID is equal to plus. This is so lame. So I'll do 0 through 8. I'll do 8 through 12, 12 through 16, and then 16 through 32. Or no, 16 through 28? Do I have something wrong? I think I have something wrong. I think there's one more 4 in there, maybe. Right? That sounds a bit better. Seems your keyboard doesn't have rings under keycaps. Help your fingers. I did the rings after pain. Rings under keycaps? I don't think I really know what you mean. This is unhappy. It implicitly has an any type. So can I make this like a... Oh my God. How about this? All right. Okay. We are absolutely in business. It only took forever. It only took forever. So what if I say this? Will this do something good? What do you mean rings under my keycaps? Okay, so the URL seems to still be this wrong thing. Oh, right, I forgot to add the dashes. I guess I could just do the whole thing. I could just do a big old... Bro, Hanser, my project's out of date. I'm responding to feedback on this thing, and I'm having major problems with TypeScript. Super fun. Why? What is this? Am I doing something totally wrong here? That's right, MD Layer. That's what the YOLO to the max, dude. People were like, write your own UUID thing. Don't you want to be the maintainer of a JavaScript UUID library? And my answer was yes. My answer was, every byte has 2 characters. Except, I think that, but this is what I did. Check it out. So for each of the bytes in my session ID, I'm toStringing it with 16 as the radix or whatever. And I have this hex digits thing, which is a string array that's supposed to have 1 string for every byte. I think that should be right. Oh, I see what you're saying. So this is supposed to be like this. Yeah, I think you're totally right about that. You're right. You are right. Wait a minute. 24. See how things work out here. Okay, close. I just have an extra... what? Something's still wrong here. What is the format again? Remind me. I think it's okay. I think it's like this. I'm confused. It's supposed to add up to 16. Is this gonna be right? This sucks. This absolutely sucks. This is the most jacked up UUID I've ever seen in my life. Wait. It's supposed to have 8 things, aka 4 bytes, right? Four bytes. And then 2 bytes. 2 bytes. What am I doing wrong? I have some bullshit. Okay, how about this? Okay. We're almost there. What is... I feel so slow right now. Like, why is this... It's converting 0, 0 to 0. Ooh. Yeah, you might be right about that. Anybody see a better way of doing this? This is like the most jacked up thing. This is the most jacked up thing. I need this to be like... I guess I kind of need this to be formatted with a precision of 2 or something like that. Nikon, the reason that we're not using the UUID library is that I had extreme pain trying to import the UUID library because it was in conflict with some other random crap. I don't know. I'm in a horrible place right now. I'm in a horrible place right now. I tried to import it and like everything broke. And I don't know enough about JavaScript to fix that. So I figured, how hard could this be? Format strings with some syntax. I mean, what we really need is like a, let's see, JavaScript format number padding. Yes, leading zeros. Left pad. It's left pad. Who wants to import left pad? 2-string pad start. Is that a thing? Hey, Nikon, the master of JavaScript. How do you know this stuff? How do you know this stuff? Where's my window? Does it mean you get a job? You can apply. Hey, this is looking rather UUID-like, isn't it? It's looking very UUID-like. Okay, the dream. Ooh, bad news though, guys. We have to do the opposite now. We have to turn this thing back. We have to turn it back into bytes, unfortunately. Actually, no, we don't. No. Let's not forget that. Never mind. Forget I said anything. We're not going to do that. We're just going to turn all the sessions into strings and then compare the strings. That's fine, right? Okay, so let's see. Back in my details page. Back in my details page. I need to like make a little function. Export function. Byte array to UUID. int8 array. UN8 array? UN8 array. Dr. Rorschach, my project's out of date. How are you doing? Right now we're doing a little bit of the old TypeScript hacking because I can't figure out how to import stuff. You ever been there? You ever been there? And we're doing some really heinous stuff that just feels really very wrong. Okay, so then we get to return this thing. And then we get to say session, let's see, const session ID is equal to byte array to UUID of props.session.id. Get rid of this, go over here, session ID. All right, now in my details, I do byte array to UUID of session.id. Hey, we're programming. We're 100% programming. So for that project, you guys, I worked on that project. Hey, oh my God, it's working. It's working. Something that seemed so simple took me only 1 hour. So last time I was working on this project, which was pretty cool. It was a very cool project, and it worked out pretty well in the end. I mostly got it working end to end. It was kind of after the stream I finished it up. But the problem is that it was a little bit underperformant because to make it sort of work, I had to turn this batch format back into bytes and then turn the bytes back into the batch format. And it turns out that reintroducing that extra serialization made things a little bit slower. I think that if I could figure out a way to make it so that I could have the lowest level kind of, instead of kind of, deserializing the storage data into this columnar format and then turning the columnar format into bytes and then passing that through the network and then back into the columnar format again. In many cases, we have this optimization where everything's local, so there's no network. And I think in those cases, I could detect that situation and pass a pointer to the call data.batch, so like the columnar format batch, and then things would be really, really fast. But I just didn't manage to do that. Root guy, I have to be careful so I don't blow up this production server. Are you doing some kind of Friday night ops? It's like Friday Night Lights, but for ops. Yeah, great joke, Jordan. Really funny stuff. Friday night upgrade, hell yeah. Hi, I mean, whatever. This is great. We did it. We got our thing. Let's fix this. What is this? What is this? Sessions table. Sessions table. Bum ba bum bum ba-dum. Ba-dum bum bum ba-dum. Bum bum bum. What happened to that? Oh, there it is. Okay. The sorting stuff. I think there was another comment about like ideally we could sort on multiple criteria at once. I don't really want to do that. That sounds kind of hard to do in the UI because the UI has these nice components. It's like sort on me. There's no abstraction that says sort on multiple components at once, really. So I'm probably gonna skip that one. There's something about like these things change in width a little bit. That's another problem. I feel like that's a CSS thing. Like if I have a really long statement, then everything sort of expands to even it out. Like for example, I think if I did something that was like, if I made a longer PG sleep, then I think the page would sort of like, huh? This seems like a bug. Okay, I'm gonna file that away to look at that. Seems like if you pass, oh, maybe it's like maybe like if it's big enough, it's like turns into nanoseconds or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it was now too subtle, but I think that if this thing was a different length, they kind of, yeah, you see how the bar is sort of readjusted? It makes it really ugly when there's a lot of things changing. So it's sort of like I want a fixed size or something for this one. I have no idea how to do that. It's probably CSS, right? Sessions table module. Why are these things all called? That seems wrong. Hmm. So there is some sort of width concept here, huh? And it looks like what I would have to do to make this work is make CSS definitions that kind of correspond, right? So if I go into my sessions table, I think I did do some of this stuff. Got my call query text. And I think that there was an intent to kind of make this a link. Maybe this wasn't working before, and it was, since I corrected the name of this. Or maybe it was always called this. Yeah, because I think I changed these ones and not the other one. I sort of cargo culted the CSS from somewhere else, as you could probably tell. Bar charts, I mean, we don't have any bar charts in it, so we can just delete these ones. I think same for this. I think what we want to keep is probably... wonder if I can just customize the like width of these things or something like that. I mean, I just don't know like the best practice around that though. But let's see. So if I action statement, I think this is sort of the one that I want to change its width to be something fixed maybe. So what if I just type, oh, the query, I don't think this is working. If it's saying width 400 pixels, if I were to go like this again, I feel like it's still gonna expand, right? Inspecting things, yeah, that's a good idea. That is a great idea. Can you tell I'm a front-end complete novice? Oh boy, this is out of control, dude. Check the TD. TD. I don't think this is necessarily implemented as... oh, I see. Sort table cell. See, it's got this CL table call query text with a little thingy. And I'm not sure if that... I think that thingy is like a... something to do with these CSS modules. I learned that at one point. How come sort table row body? How come I wish I could sort of see like... oh, I see. This is just the A. So if I wanted to change the width of this thing, I wonder what is this element exactly? This is the TH. I don't know. How does one teach this thing how wide it's supposed to be? Ah, boy. What if I just search for width? Width 100%. Border top width. Doesn't really seem like there is an explicit width anywhere. Check the A on the DOM. Do you think it just kind of like... So what, yeah, what about this? 200 pics. It doesn't do anything. Whatever, I'm gonna give up. This is not something I really know how to do. It doesn't change anything, huh? Oh my god. I wonder if any of these other things have... I just don't think that these ones really have like the same issue. Because I think... Yeah, how do they restrict the width on this thing? This is kind of what I want to look at, I guess. Because I think this is probably fixed. It's like, if I put a really long statement, it's not going to rejigger the width of everything on this page. This is something that was designed by somebody who actually knows what they're doing. I wonder if width is not really the right thing here. I don't know. Flexra, yeah. Viable clan member, I'm sure you're probably right. What's up, Bailey J? Nice to see you. I just don't know how this stuff works. I'm gonna ask somebody else at another time, I think. This thing we don't need. Call time, whitespace, no wrap. I don't know what that is for. And I don't think we have a relevant declaration for it, right? Whitespace, no wrap. What does that mean? Just out of curiosity, what is that about? Call time. So if I go to the one that I copied it from, statements table, call time, right? Seems like they might have, maybe they meant to say type and they said time instead of type. Oh, right. I don't know. I don't know what the point of that would be at all. One plane, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll try to publish it to NPM and you can try to install it yourself. No NBSP wrap. It's a CSS version of above. Oh, I see. But that's kind of weird because there's no spaces in this, so I don't really get... Oh, maybe it's just for this? It's going to be on the TD or TH. I kind of think it's just like, it's just doing some kind of flexible thing that's defined elsewhere. Sorted table. I wish there was sort of a way that you could learn about how this all works, huh? I think these width declarations are really more about these bar charts. It's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down to. Yeah, you're probably right, man. You're probably right. You're probably right. Hold on a sec. Min width. I'm just pulling up this document that was supposed to have the things. Yeah, that was gonna do. Terminate session, terminate query not easily discoverable. Sessions to be above statements. I think I fixed that. Memory usage is unnecessary for precision. I think I fixed that. Oh, yeah. There was one quick thing I wanted to fix, actually. Okay, so check this out. So if I have a... basically, it's about this, like, secure business. There was... We enhanced our permissions model such that you can look at your own sessions, even if you're not an admin user. But I don't think we ever really fixed that. Wherever that thing lives, which I can't exactly remember where that thing lives. But let's see. I think I should be able to do it if I run C demo, and then I make myself a user, foo with password bar, and then if I go to the web page here and log in as foo bar, then I go to this new page. Actually, I was expecting it to say something worse. No currently running sessions. I mean, that seems wrong. Oh, I forgot to use... Shoot. Try this one more time. Create user foo with password bar. Then I guess I actually have to log in as this user. So I think I will have to make a new window. And then I've got to do user foo password bar. No? I forget how to do this. Can I not pass a password? Maybe I can put it in the URL string. Oh, I said root at admin. That's a problem. Okay. Foo bar. How about that? I was staring it right in the face. Okay, fantastic. So now if I say select PG sleep 1000, the question is, can I see my own query? Aha. That's not the same problem. The actual problem is probably that it's got a new URL. So I can see my own stuff. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is. And if I did select PG sleep over here, I should presumably not be able to see that one, which it looks like I can't. Okay, actually, so I'm confused how that happened to this other person. Is it, okay, here's a thing that it might be. Here's a thing that it might be. Show all cluster settings. There's this remote debugging mode thing, right? Yeah, I think think we want to turn this to be off. Set cluster setting. This is equal to off. Now will it not work potentially? Yeah, okay. So this is the thing I need to fix. This information is not available to the current value of this thing. I need to just turn this off because it's no longer relevant. The permissions model includes all this stuff so we can sort of ignore it. So I don't know where that would be defined. So, but maybe if I search remote debugging mode, not allowed due to the blah, right? So if I look at what happens, we get back 403 forbidden. Yeah, so it is this, not allowed due to the server remote debugging setting. So I think it's this. Okay, so if auth is equal to blah, not auth, so this thing ends up returning, Well, but I'm actually slightly confused because I didn't think this was coming from this debug endpoint business. So hold on a minute. I don't think this does actually come from the... Does this also not work for this page? It does work for this page. This operation requires the view activity role. Okay, so this is this new stuff. This is actually kind of neat. So basically the idea is that there is a role option. What's the word for that? I guess it's sort of like a capability that you can add to somebody to let them be able to view activity. So I guess we would need to do that. Role-based access control, exactly. So if I were to say, I don't actually know how this works. Alter role foo with option view activity. No, maybe I just say with view activity. Okay, sweet. So that's pretty slick. That's actually pretty slick. Okay, so now if I go to my network page, what are we requesting exactly? We're requesting this thing. And this is also from underscore status. Okay, so the whole point of me doing that was just to say that I think that there's no good reason for this. I was in the wrong spot. Okay, so omitted key string. Where is this coming from? Remote debugging error. Okay, so there's just a bunch of these, just a bunch of hard-coded spots in which we say this, and I think we can delete some of them. Log file, logs, list local sessions, list sessions. These are the two ones that I think I'm just gonna get rid of because we already have all of this good stuff now. Has role option, blah, blah, blah. So goodbye. That's straightforward enough. So I'll make a quick commit for that one. Do not require remote debugging for sessions, for list sessions. List sessions doesn't need remote debug on. Previously, running the list sessions or list local sessions API would require the remote debugging setting to be turned on. Now that we have role-based access controls for viewing session activity, this is no longer necessary. Release note, basically none. This is not user visible. The sessions page is, but this isn't really justification. Okay. This other stuff I'm gonna amend. to that was weird. Whoops, I needed to do get rebase dash I. Oh no. Oh god. Who's ready to resolve some merge conflicts? Okay, so this one's a generated file. This one's a generated file. This number 6 I have to be careful about. Okay. What happened? What happened? What happened was that I think this deadline thing got added, right? Is that what happened? Actually, I'm a little confused because of how come this is missing, you know? Normally, like the stuff in here, this would be like the common base, but it doesn't seem to exist. So it sort of seems like both sides added this. Maybe I merged something that did the same thing or something like that for another PR. Oh, I think that is what it is. Right, I merged this other thing. Anyway, I think it's fine. I think I can just take the one on the bottom. Okay, so then if I run make protobuf, that'll get the pb.go one. Then I've just got to do this number 7 one. Okay, so here, it's just basically a bunch of people populated fields, I think. Yeah, I think it's just probably like same thing happened on both sides. So I can just take mine again. That was easy. So then if I run, I don't know why this changed. This does get generated. It might take a little bit to generate. So I might just see if I can edit it myself. This doesn't seem too easy to edit yourself. It kind of seems like I should just regenerate this. So I'll do that. And then for the protobuf, I can run make protobuf. That'll regenerate the pb.go files. So not so bad. I really needed to do rebase dash I in order to get that fix up commit to go to the right spot. So if I do git add 5, 6, 7, I think git's acting really slow. Maybe it needs to be like pruned or something. And then for this, wonder I could run make generate, but that thing's really slow. I wonder if there's a way to. What if I just say make this? Does that do anything? No. Kind of seems like it's, oh, make docgen targets. That seems legit. What's in docgen targets? It's kind of like I want to, what if I just say make this stuff? What's it going to do? Yeah, it recompiles a bunch of stuff because of course it does. Guess it makes something called docgen. I've never actually looked at what that does. I think it's kind of neat, like basically, okay, I think that worked, maybe. Why does it hang at when I quit get diff? I don't get that. When I like, let's see, so if I edit this, okay, so the conflict markers are gone, so that's a great thing. Okay, we'll git add 7. It's like at the end of every git command, it's super slow. That's super weird. I don't know why that is. Seems super sketchy. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's just do this one more time with the old -I to use, you know, combine our fix up PR. And then I guess we can push this. I kind of need a new project for the stream. I don't know. Like I just feel like I'm tying up a bunch of loose ends. I did that thing last week with the columnar batch format, which was cool, but I feel like it's a little bit too hacky. I need something that's like a good mix of hacking and not. I want to get back to Go. I want to stop doing front end stuff because I don't know how to do it. Need to think of something good. +1 for Go. Yeah. Yeah, I got into the whole React thing because I really wanted to see if I could try it out. And I learned a lot. You know, I was able to build that whole page, which I had never really done before, and it was interesting, but it's not really, I don't like it that much, honestly. Go text-based CLI. Oh my God. End curses. Oh, that's scary. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It could be kind of neat to work on CLI stuff, I guess. People want tab completion. We don't have, we have this like really jacked up tab completion thing, which like really doesn't work, which is, look what happens when you hit tab. It's like tab completion not supported, append question mark, and press tab for contextual help. So it's like, first of all, why wouldn't it just tab complete you the help? And second of all, yeah, it would be nice to have tab completion, but I guess it's kind of tricky. I'm not sure why. It might be an interesting project. It's kind of hard. I think in order to make that work, you have to teach it about how to traverse the grammar and stuff, which is maybe non-trivial, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. And it also needs to be something that's, yeah, exactly, not like too much in the path of resistance. Oh yeah, I meant to merge this. Why don't I fix this up actually? I think I'll go for another 15 minutes and then switch to something else. So this is kind of a funny bug where, so we have we have these virtual tables, right? So why am I typing git? So for example, if I had a new table, you know, in Postgres, you can be like select star from PG class, and it'll, whoops, where, so this is a way to give me like, you know, Postgres specific metadata about particular tables. And we also have this information schema. You know, there's a bunch of these things for information schema.tables, I think, where, yeah, I mean, you saw it. Table name is equal to A. So there's a bunch of stuff here. And the way that these work under the hood is that we call them virtual tables because they never actually go to disk. Well, they kind of do, but they go in a weird way. The way that they work is that they actually fetch all of the table metadata from this system table called system.descriptors, which is a bunch of protobufs, descriptor, bunch of protobufs, and it decodes them all, and then it, like, you know, spits out a bunch of crap. on the fly in a sense. So like when you do these filters, it doesn't normally, it's not normally able to, you know, go to disk and ask for, there's no like easy way to index these things is what I'm trying to say basically, because they're not normal SQL tables. You can't normally add an index to these things because they're not normal SQL tables. That being said, it got really inefficient because it's a very common thing where you're gonna be like, you know, select star from PG class where OID is equal to 52. 52 happened to be the ID of that table that I made earlier. And if this has to actually go to disk and retrieve all table descriptors as it used to, well, it's just really inefficient and sad. And like a lot of tools will run it like a shit ton of these queries when they start up. And it can turn into these really horrible sort of n squared loops when things are just trying to innocuously fetch things where there's no indexes and it's just a disaster. So we made these virtual indexes in certain cases. So in this case, we can do actually a fast lookup because it just so happens that, you know, this OID thing is also the key of system.descriptor. So I can also say select star from system.descriptor where ID is equal to 52 and it'll give me the same thing. And so in general, whenever you have an ID that corresponds to this descriptors table, you can skip fetching all of them and ask for just one of them basically. And that sounds obvious, but you know, the sort of machinery to make that happen was kind of a pain in the butt. So we made that, but it turns out there was a little bug, which was kind of hilarious where, let's see if I can find a good example. So I think there's something called, I'll make a new table, drop table A, create table A and B in. So I've got a table with 2 columns. And I think if I say select star from PG attribute, this is the table that has like column information where rel OID at rel ID is equal to 52. It'll give me all of the descriptors being dropped. Well, that sounds, oh yeah, that makes sense because I made a new one. Okay, so here's my at rel ID is equal to 53. This is my new table, table 53. I've got these 3 columns, right? But what happens when I limit? What happens when I do select star from PG attribute limit 1? Well, the answer is that it's broken and the limit isn't being respected. And the reason for this was that I had screwed something up when I defined these indexes, and the optimizer thought that no matter what, this table is going to return just a single key at most, given this constraint, because it basically sort of thought that this was a unique index, even though it wasn't specified as such. So I have this PR out that's supposed to fix that. And it almost merged, but there's a couple comments, so I'm gonna go fix those up right now. Let's see, check out fix VT limit. VT. So this is, let's see, opt catalog.go. Line 1809. All right, so basically, yeah, I should have put comments on this. Basically, the idea is that what we mean by key column count in an index is that it's basically the number of columns that comprise the index. So if you don't specify all of them, then you're going to get like a partially constrained index. And if you do specify all of them and the index is unique on those things, so well, actually, never mind. I think that key in the world of this optimizer means that the columns in the key define a unique relation. So if I have 2 key columns, then there's 2 columns that I need to specify in order to completely constrain the index and guarantee that there's at most 1 result. And I think what would happen before is that, since this thing is not unique, what you have to do is append another column onto it. So for example, like in this PG attribute thing, it's not the case that there's only 1 sort of thing per table OID, right? There's many. But I didn't specify that. And the way that we specify that is because these indexes are sort of virtual, is that we have this sort of dummy column that's not present here. That's just like some arbitrary column that is, always unique for every row in this thing. And we sort of fake it, basically. But the point is I needed to add that to the key or else this would happen. So that's why I set this to 2, but I didn't put a comment. So I'll say virtual indexes for the time being always have exactly 2 key columns. Because what? Because they're we only, let's see. They're only constructible on a single column, and we don't support the concept of a single unique of a unique virtual index. So we always export 2 key columns. The first is the index, the column to be indexed, and the second is the fake virtual index column. What is that thing called? Special bogus PK column goes to the end of the index columns. Okay, great. We pretend exists to guarantee uniqueness. See the implementation of opt virtual index dot column. Okay, and then for lax key is, I always have to relook at the definition of these because it's not that obvious to me. Where is it? There's a good documentation on it. Here it is. Okay, so lax key column count returns the number of columns in the index that are part of its lax key. Lax keys follow the same rules as keys, except that null values are treated as not equal to one another, as in the case for unique indexes. This means that 2 rows can appear to have duplicate values when one of those values is null. The lax key columns are always a prefix of the key columns where the column count of the lax keys is less than or equal to the key column count. It's not required that an index have a separate lax key in which they're equal. Okay, so it's basically the rule is this. They're equal because it's a non-unique index. So virtual indexes are never unique, so their lax key is the same as their key. Okay, so that's that. And then there was some little comment about an if. Fix that up. So that's okay. I kind of like it this way. They both return, but I don't know. I'll just, whatever. I don't really care. Okay, easy. What else? What other random stuff do I have open? I just kind of want to, like, I had left all these open threads before I left on vacation, and I feel like I didn't fix enough of them. Oh yeah, this thing needs to be merged. This is this thing I need to get back to. Okay, that's not that bad. There was this whole project to convert the internal executor to be an iterator that I didn't really finish. But I don't want to get back to that now. All right. I think, let's see. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Hold on a sec. All right. So it's 6 p.m. We did 3 hours of programming. I think it went all right. I think a lot of the time, I think this was not, it kind of comes back to what I was complaining about, which is that I feel like I didn't really click back into work stuff during the week. I feel like I didn't really know what to do. But it was interesting. It was interesting. I think now I'm gonna play some Mario. So if you guys want to stick around for that, you're welcome, and I hope you do. But I understand it's not programming content. So let's see. Pull up the old retro arc. Put up the old. Let's see. I can do this off screen. This is gonna be fun. So I improved my Mario PB by a little bit, and it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm not sure. I really want to be able to see if I can get under 20 minutes on this game, or under 30 minutes. Excuse me. 20 minutes would be crazy, but not sure if it can happen. But we're gonna try. We'll try to PB. We'll try to PB. I also have an exciting project to talk about, related to Mario stuff, which I think I'm gonna work it on Sunday. I'm gonna work on it on Sunday, but it's gonna be really fun. So you remember Twitch Plays Pokemon? So my idea is that you can have Twitch Plays Pokemon, but for Mario, and it's live action. So how does that work, considering that this is a real-time game? Well, the answer is that you'll do it in sort of like a task modality. So if you're familiar with that whole world, the idea is that you basically are controlling things frame by frame. And so my idea is that on Twitch, what you'll be able to do is say, write down the number of, which buttons you want to press, like A, right, B, and up, or something like that. And then a number of frames that you want to skip. And then it'll do that. And I think it could be really hilarious. So I actually have a prototype that I got working. The main problem right now is like the hosting, because I don't think it would really work to host it on my laptop. I need to sort of figure out somewhere that I can host OBS in the cloud. And I did that for another experiment with Cockroach at one point, the like Twitch runs Cockroach DB thing. But work was paying for that, and it was kind of expensive. It's like these GPUs are actually fairly expensive to rent. So I'm not sure if there's a way that I can do that for cheaper, but I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to probably hack on that on Sunday. I think it'll be really, really fun. Once I get it up and running, it's really funny. I had a little prototype. Let's see. So I'll do Quickie World 2 for PV. Just update the old stream title here. And in fact, you can actually go, if you want to give this account a follow, twitch.tv/Twitch assisted speedrun. That's the hilarious name that my friend Sartak came up with, but that's where this thing will stream. And I did a test stream that you can check out. It's pretty funny. But anyway, let's try to do this now. See how it goes. So if you haven't watched this before, it's a ROM hack of Super Mario World that is harder. It's in the genre known as Kaizo, but it's pretty easy for the Kaizo genre. It's kind of like a beginner Kaizo game. And I've been trying to get fast at beating it end to end. It takes me about 30-something minutes right now, and I would like to get it below 30 minutes as a personal achievement. Did I update the stream title? Can anybody see? Like, I thought I did, but then it sort of seems like it didn't update. Or maybe the view that I'm looking at is just out of date. I'm not sure. Oh. Somehow saved that. It did update? Okay, cool, thanks. People get... Oh. I hear that people get upset if the stream title does not reflect reality. And the category. Nice. First try. I usually... Was that first try? I think it was first try. I feel like I usually die in that. I really want to get this thing. Cool, man. Well, enjoy. Thanks for hanging out, Nikon. I hope to see you again on the stream or around Slack or something at some point. Hopefully more Go next time. But yeah, thanks for chilling. I was getting more consistent at that, and then somehow I lost it, I guess. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Whoa! I just like accidentally shell jumped. That was ridiculous and bizarre. Ah. Not good to die on this for no reason. All right. Ah. Not great. Not great to die to that. So frustrating. Dude, it's looking like maybe I should reset this run. Give it one more shot on this. Let's immediately die. Well, not good, but we'll keep going. I think I can make it up. I think I did really bad on this next level in my PB. So I think I can make it up. What's up, Tachi? Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of streaming these Super Mario World ROM hacks, which I've been trying to get good at. That's fun. It's a good thing to do. I'm a lot worse at talking while playing these games as I am at talking while programming, but I'm working on it. Da-da-da-doo-doo. It's so frustrating because like a lot of these levels, like my gold split, so like if I one-shotted them, that's usually my gold split because I'm not really doing speed strats, I'm just trying not to die. But my gold split is usually like so much better than anything that I do run to run. So it's kind of like, if I don't do levels deathless, I just like lose time on them. Bonkers to me, would have thought that gaming would be easier to talk about compared. Yeah, it's basically that. It's a little bit fast paced and I have to be concentrating to not die. But you know, the more I play of this, the more I get used to it in a sense. So yeah, I don't know. I'm better than when I started trying to play this on stream by a lot. But programming, like, there's so much time to just sit around and chat, I feel like, you know what I mean? You don't, there's no like Twitch reactions in programming. But how is that gold? I guess I've never one-shotted that. It's weird. I don't know. I feel like this split timer thing is like really complicated. I don't like completely understand how it works. It has a lot of features. It's actually written in Rust. Speaking of programming, I'm using like this web version because the desktop version only runs on Windows. But I think like the sort of core is Rust, so it should be cross-platform. I think it's just like the UI elements are probably pretty hard to make cross-platform. That's why they made the web version. You never watch speedrun, so it's cryptic? Yeah, so basically like the one on the right, the white numbers, those are basically the ones in the future are what my PB is. So the ones on Vapor Palace and below are like what the split times for each of the levels on my PB was. The ones that are above Vapor Palace, I just completed in this run, so those are like my actual split times. Shit, I'm like, see, I can't talk and do this at the same time. But and so the red numbers are like how much better or worse I was at that split versus my PB. If it's gold, that means it was a personal best, like just on the split, so not like total, but just for that particular split, it was a personal best. And then the ones at the bottom, the big one is just how much time has been spent on the run so far. I don't know, there's a few others. Uh-oh. Okay, nice, we got out of that one. So the ones at the bottom, live segment is like how much better or worse I am on the current segment that I am versus my PB. Best possible time is like, if I sum up all of the sums of bests on the future splits, plus the current time that I'm at, that's the best possible time. And then there's like a bunch of random other stuff that I never look at. I don't know if that was comprehensible. That's basically how it works. It's very cool stuff if you get into learning about it. There's a lot of interesting analytics that you can do. I feel like that I'm not sure how many analytics people have really done on this stuff. Whoops. I know that like for some games that are super probability heavy, so like a lot of RNG. This is no RNG really at all. At least this particular ROM hack. But like I don't know if you ever watch Arcus, the guy who streams, I think it's Ninja Gaiden, but he's been doing this run for like a really long time, and I think his run has a bunch of RNG, and I think, wait, actually that's not a good example. I'm thinking of actually the guy who streams Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out has a ton of RNG, so it's like, it's just sort of random for any given run, the likelihood of the run really continuing or not. So what he did there is he assigned each of the stages a probability of goodness, I think. And then so you can see overall, like, what are the probabilities that he's gonna continue the run or not, or something like that. I don't know. It gets a little out of control, I guess. But I think it's very interesting. Interesting analytics, a lot of data to crunch. There's a website called splits.io that has a bunch of numbers and stuff, but I'm not sure. I don't know, like, I haven't really looked at it very much. I think splits.io is mainly for like people sharing their splits with other people. I'm not sure if they do a lot of analytics or like have a lot of analytics there. They should. I feel like they should. That'd be sick. Uh-oh, that was no good. I think that was probably gold. I don't think I've ever one-shot at this level. Uh-oh. That's no good. Took too long. Gotta throw these little bombs frequently or else they blow up. And those springboards are really hard to use. They're like extremely obnoxious objects in this game. No! Okay, I used to get stuck a lot on the beginning half of this level, and it looks like now I'm getting stuck on the second half. This is definitely one of those levels that I'm terrible at, and it gets me over and over. Probably means I should practice it more, but I don't. There we go. Do 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 do. Bam. All right. Good start, good start. Really good start. This level is usually pretty tricky for me. It's got good music. This whole hack has good music. No! That's such a dumb way to die. Such a dumb way to die. After all the hard stuff. This level also really like makes my hands cramp up more than most of the levels in this game. I don't know why. All right, so like a minute behind. I think I can make this up. I think on this one level I did really, really bad on, so I might be able to make it up on that level. Hopefully. We'll see. This one's been giving me a bunch of grief lately. I don't think it should be that hard, but something about it. Just like random sloppiness like that. They'll just get you, you know? Dun dun bum bum ba dum bum ba na 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 na. Dum ba dum bum bum ba da doo 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 doo. Oh my god. This is the sort of thing, you know, you just like screw up the easy stuff, making everything worse. There we go. All right. All right, so I lost like 30 seconds on that. Not good. There's still, I think, plenty of time to be gained in the last couple levels. Oh yeah, and I did really bad on Yoshi's Lair. Why? Not a good thing to do. Do 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 do. Oh man, losing it. I think this is the only vanilla song in the game. Oh man, I think my hopes are kind of dashed. I think I one-shot this level in my PB. The deficit is building. It's not what you want to see. I think it's kind of these next two levels. If I can't do both of them pretty quick, I think I'm really... the chances are 0. Why did I turn back? Why did I turn back? That made no sense. I'm having trouble lining up with those bullets right now. I don't know why. I'm like a little bit too fast, so I guess I need to... Okay, we'll see if Spaceballs completely screws me, as it normally does. It's possible I could come out ahead here, if I do good. It usually takes me a little bit to like get into the groove of this level is the problem. A few tries to remember how it works. Ah, I do that too much. I was really steady too. I didn't need to adjust. Gotta jump on the fourth little bounce, I think. Oh man, it's not good, not good. I think I had that. I just got a little bit. I don't know. I just like panic in those moments. I'm like, sure I'm gonna die, so I overcorrect everywhere. Dude, not cool. Spaceballs, always giving me trouble. Always giving me trouble. Do 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 do. At least it's a good song, right? Do 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 do. Not my setup. Not my setup. Sad face. Okay, so there's my 30-minute time. Ideally, I could finish the entire game in about that time. There's like 3 levels after this one. I don't think it's an impossible achievement, but obviously it's not gonna happen this time. I think I just, like this level really needs to be shored up. I've gotta figure out how to do this level without doing it a million times every time. Dude, I just can't seem to friggin' get that. I think I need to like small bounce on that one up until the very end, right before the blocks, and then do a big bounce. I think that's my formula that I usually have been doing. For some reason I thought I could do better. Not a good idea. There we go. So bad. So bad. Sad. I have gotten a lot better at the first half of this level, at least. Like, way better. The shell jump is super consistent now. Now it's kind of funny, like, the first half is not that consistent with the big boo. I feel like that part I'm bad at. It's not that hard. This part I could get a little bit better at, too, to be honest. Sometimes I do that. I think one problem for me is like I don't know how long the Yoshi animation is, so I get a little bit like I'm like not sure when to hold down the jump button. You like weirdly pause, you know, when Yoshi's hatching or whatever. All right, how about this time? Boo, okay. Thanks a lot for chatting, Chachi. I'll see you later. Yeah, this part's been getting me too. Like, so this beginning thing is okay. Go over here, hit this, grab the shell, and then getting this little jump is quite tricky. Like the height to be at, I just don't really know what it is, honestly. Go like this. Don't want to jump too high. Don't want to jump into that thing. But normally the problem I have is when I can hit the shell, and then I'm like too far right. So I just jump into the bottom of the thing. Now this is a different failure mode than normal. I suppose is good. Maybe. That's what I usually do. That's the normal death. Okay, so I'm going just too high. I gotta stop doing that. This would be a good one to practice. See if I can even make 40 minutes. There we go. What is the difference? I don't know what the difference is. Oh my gosh, not really concentrating. Okay. I just want to be out. I just want to be done with this run at this point. There we go. Good lord. Hate it when that happens. Hate it when that happens. I hear there's like a better strat there that you can use where you like get P speed on the way down instead of sliding, but I haven't really tried that out yet. definitely screwed. There we go. All right. Now we just go over here, hit this. See if I can one-shot our boy Yosh. Okay, GG. 41. Terrible. That's okay. We had fun. I think I'm gonna get off, but this was a blast. We'll stream again on Sunday. Do 6 p.m. Probably gonna do a little bit of work on this Twitch-assisted speedrun thing. I'm pretty pumped about that. So please stop by if you're gonna be there. And otherwise, I'll see you next Friday. Thanks everybody. Let's raid the captain. Let's raid the captain. Say hello to the captain. I think he's playing La Mulana. I hear that's a cool game. But yeah. Say hello to the captain. Cool guy. And you guys, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Fantastic weekend. And wherever the world takes you, you should go there. All right, see ya.
I think that is really all